Welcome to this deep dive into Robinhood's first quarter earnings call for 2025.
Yeah, lots to unpack here.
Absolutely. Our mission today is really to, cut through the noise and pull out the essential insights for you, the experienced investor.
Exactly. We'll hit the key numbers, look at their strategy, and maybe even have a little fun with the trade idea later.
Sounds good. So where do we start? The results snapshot.
Let's do it. Look, overall, a very strong Q1 for Robinhood.
How strong?
Well, revenue jumped 50% year over year. 50%.
Wow, okay. And earnings?
EPS more than doubled compared to the same time last year.
So not just top line growth, but bottom line too.
Right. And maybe more importantly, their adjusted EBITDA margin expanded quite a bit. That points towards, profitable growth, not just growth for growth's sake.
Good point. And did they talk about current trading, Q2 momentum?
They did. They mentioned that momentum continued into April. Strong net deposits, strong trading volume. So the good start seems to be holding.
Okay. Anything else jump out from the highlights?
For me, it was the gold subscriptions. Nearly doubled year over year.
Yeah, I saw that. That's significant. It's not just user growth, it's engagement, right?
Yeah.
Perceived value.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Suggests the premium offering is really resonating. And 1 in 3 new customers in Q1 signed up for gold.
1 in 3. Okay, that's a strong attach rate.
Definitely. And then the board authorized another $500 million for share repurchases.
Another signal of confidence from management.
Yep. Adds to the existing program. Okay, ready to dig a bit deeper.
Let's do it. Where should we focus first? Active traders.
Makes sense. That was a clear focal point on the call. They talked about significant product velocity in building the, quote, #1 platform for active traders.
So lots of new features, I assume.
Tons. Futures trading launched in Q1. And get this, the volume is accelerating fast. April alone saw 4.5 million contracts traded.
More than the entire Q1.
Exactly. That's huge traction right out of the gate.
What else for active traders? Prediction markets.
Yeah, they're gaining steam too. Surpassed 1 billion contracts traded in the last 6 months. And they're adding more types of contracts.
And they're not neglecting the core platform legend.
No, definitely not. They mentioned speed upgrades, adding crypto, index options stuff active traders really want, plus joint accounts, more indicators, better charts. They said they're releasing new features basically weekly.
Weekly releases. Okay.
Yeah.
That likely drives that incremental volume they mentioned.
Seems plausible. And they're planning their second active trader event for the fall. So doubling down on that community.
Okay, so active traders are key. What about broader growth? Wallet share.
Right. That's the other big push. They want to be #1 in wallet share for the, quote, next generation.
How are they doing that? Robinhood Strategies.
That's part of it. Launched recently, already got over 40,000 customers, over $100 million in assets. So decent early uptake.
And the credit card, the gold card.
Doubled holders to 200,000 just in recent weeks. They said customer excitement is strong and they're planning to accelerate the rollout.
200,000 already. That's moving fast.
It is. And don't forget retirement. Assets there grew to $16 billion. That's up about 20% just since the start of the year.
Capturing those long-term funds.
Exactly. And the acquisition of Trade PMR closed. That brings over $40 billion in platform assets, mainly serving RIAs.
Ah, right. The Trade PMR deal, that adds a whole new dimension.
Definitely leans into serving advisors, broadening their base.
Okay, so domestic growth looks multifaceted. What about their global ambitions?
Still a long-term goal, but they're working on it. Building the, quote, #1 global financial ecosystem.
Concrete steps.
Well, they mentioned continued improvements to the UK brokerage offering and making progress on launching in Asia. No firm dates, but it's on the roadmap.
And crypto plays into the global picture too, right? Bitstamp.
Big time. That acquisition is on track to close mid-year, gives them a major institutional presence and a path for international crypto expansion.
Mid-year close. All right.
And they're having a crypto event in France in a couple of months, so clearly signaling European interest.
Got it. Let's circle back to the financials then. That $927 million in Q1 revenue, what drove it specifically?
It was pretty broad-based. Double-digit increases across all the main transaction types. Equities trading, for example, was up 84% year over year.
84%.
Huge. And options volume hit a record. So trading activity was definitely a major tailwind.
What about non-trading revenue?
Interest-earning assets and securities lending grew, which helped offset some, short-term rate impacts. And then, as we mentioned, gold subscriptions hit records.
Right, 3.2 million subs at quarter end, 3.3 million in April. That's becoming a really substantial recurring revenue stream.
Over 12% adoption now among funded customers. It's definitely significant.
And that adjusted EBITDA margin, again, 51% in Q1. How'd they manage that?
Mostly expense discipline, they said. They seem pretty focused on controlling costs while growing.
Did they update their outlook for the full year?
Yeah, they updated adjusted OPEX and stock-based comp guidance to $2.085 billion to $2.185 billion.
And that includes the new acquisition costs.
It includes about $85 million from Trade PMR, but it excludes any costs from Bitstamp, since that hasn't closed, and also excludes credit loss provisions for the card.
Okay, important caveats.
One other interesting financial point. They now have 9 different business lines generating over $100 million each in annualized revenue.
9. Wow. That's diversification in action.
Nearly double the number from just a couple of years ago.
Right.
And even the new stuff, futures, index options, prediction markets, they're already around $20 million ARR each.
So new products are contributing quickly.
Seems like it. And Trade PMR adds another, $50 million run rate business right away?
And the share buyback. They mentioned adding $500 million. What's the total program now?
Increased to $1.5 billion total authorization. They've already deployed over $650 million at an average price around $33.
Okay.
Over $300 million of that was in Q1 alone, which more than offset the shares they issued for the Trade PMR deal.
So net reduction in shares outstanding from that perspective.
Effectively, yeah. And they have over $800 million left, expect to deploy it over roughly the next 2 years, but they have flexibility to accelerate if needed.
Got it. Let's shift to strategy and management insights. What else stood out? Robinhood Banking.
Yeah, that's aimed at high net worth individuals. They're planning a public rollout, probably Q3 2025, trying to offer a differentiated digital experience.
Livied up market a bit there.
Seems like it. They also talked about policy pushing to let users invest in private companies like SpaceX.
That'd be interesting. But
Yep.
complex regulations-wise.
Very. They mentioned needing comprehensive security legislation, rethinking accredited investor rules. Said they're talking with the administration and lawmakers.
Ambitious.
Ah.
What about serving businesses or institutions? Beyond RIAs with Trade PMR.
That's the long-term vision. Opportunities in like 401k administration, employee stock plans, maybe institutional prime brokerage someday. But near term, the focus is really integrating Trade PMR.
Makes sense. How's retail customer engagement holding up? Especially with market swings.
Management said it was strong through April. So diverse net deposits, retirement, strategies, brokerage, crypto. They think the new products, like futures and multi-leg options, are helping active traders stay engaged in different conditions.
Giving them more tools for volatility.
Pretty much. And they have big aspirations for gold, comparing it to Costco or Amazon Prime. Constant improvements, the card rollout, exclusive banking features. They see it as central.
A whole ecosystem built around gold.
Kind of looks that way. Crypto revenue was also strong, second highest quarter recently. Focus there is market share via more coin selection and better products, plus diversifying, within and outside crypto.
And Robinhood Strategies, that automated investing product, how's that doing?
Early days, but positive signs. We mentioned the 40K customers, $100 million AUM. Seems resilient even with market volatility.
What about futures volume? Is it cannibalizing options or equities, or is it new activity?
They suggested it seems mostly incremental so far, attracting active traders who want short capabilities or 24-hour trading.
Okay, and Robinhood Cortex, the AI tool.
Right, the Stock Digest, options trade builder for gold members. They're aiming for a launch before the end of Q2 this year.
Any extra cost for that?
No current plans for additional fees, they said, just part of gold. They also mentioned using AI more internally for operations and customer service.
Makes sense. How do they view the competitive landscape in crypto now?
Pretty positive. They think as crypto becomes more mainstream, their platform is well positioned.
Did those deposit promotions in March really move the needle, like the 2% match?
Yeah, it drove record net deposits that month. But they emphasized promotions were less than 15% of total net deposits for the quarter.
So mostly organic growth.
That's the implication. And they highlighted strong unit economics, large average transfer sizes like $90,000 overall, over $180,000 for taxable accounts.
Serious money moving over.
Seems so. They're also still tweaking crypto pricing. April take rates were similar to Q1, but they see an opportunity for tiered pricing for high volume folks.
And Legend, the active platform, how's volume growth there?
strong sequential growth, and they believe the vast majority is incremental, not just shifting from elsewhere.
What's next for Legend?
Futures on Legend is on the roadmap. Mobile ladder integration, more enhancements for active traders, and interestingly, live streamers.
Live streamers. Okay. How's the credit card performing in terms of risk? Delinquencies?
Very low so far, in line with expectations. They mentioned tight underwriting, but they do expect credit loss provisions to gradually increase as they roll out more cards. Standard for any card issuer.
And the app experience for the card?
Will continue to improve, especially, they said, when integrated with the upcoming banking features.
Overall financial goal?
Pretty straightforward. Increase earnings per share and free cash flow per share over time. Leveraging tech for low incremental costs across all these diverse businesses is key to that.
Makes sense. Prediction markets, who's using those?
Broad range of customers, apparently. Different behaviors depending on the contract type, sports, economics, politics.
Are these new verticals like prediction markets and the credit card actually bringing new users to Robinhood?
They indicated yes. And gold is central to cross-selling. Like, a gold member is apparently 4 times more likely to also have a retirement account with them.
Interesting cross-sell stat. What about crypto execution? Any improvements there?
They're rolling out smart order routing for crypto. Early results are positive, they said. AIM is better execution quality, and it could enable that tiered pricing for bigger traders later.
And the $85 million cost for Trade PMR is the ongoing run rate?
It includes some deal-related expenses. They think there are opportunities to bring that number down, maybe starting next quarter.
Any regulatory concerns mentioned? Especially around crypto like FIT21?
They said no current concerns about their operating model based on potential changes like FIT21. Their main policy goal is just getting clarity on how crypto assets are classified, especially for listing.
Okay. How's app engagement? Time spent?
Still strong, they said. Focus is on great products, retention, and gold. They think Cortex could boost engagement further, too.
What about those extended trading hours? 245 markets.
Growing steadily. More engagement during after hours and weekend macro events. They see it becoming standard, especially as they expand internationally. Long term, they think 247 markets for everything is the trend.
247 everything. Bold vision. And finally, Bitstamp. What are the key opportunities once that closes mid-year?
Institutional crypto is a big one, international expansion, obviously, but also potential to improve execution quality for their own retail customers, maybe offer more order types for active traders. Lots of potential synergies.
Okay, that's a really comprehensive overview of the call. Ready for this not financial advice segment?
Let's do it. Outrageous but plausible trade ideas based on all this.
All right. Idea number 1, playing on prediction markets and global expansion.
Okay.
Given their success growing prediction markets and their push into Asia, what if you took a long position on a prediction market contract tied to, say, the adoption rate of U.S.-style options trading among Robinhood's new Asian users within a specific time frame?
Interesting. So betting on their ability to export U.S. trading habits and using the leverage of prediction markets themselves.
Exactly. It combines 2 key growth areas they highlighted. High risk, high potential reward, purely speculative, of course.
Of course. Okay, my turn. Idea number 2, focusing on the banking and credit card synergies.
Go for it.
As Robinhood rolls out this higher-end banking for gold members and the gold card gets more traction, consider a long position, not in Robinhood, but in a basket of equities sensitive to affluent consumer spending.
Like luxury goods, high-end travel.
Exactly. The idea is if Robinhood deepens its wallet share with wealthier clients via banking and credit, those clients might spend more, indirectly benefiting sectors catering to them.
A second-order effect play, betting on the ecosystem's impact.
Right. It's a bet on platform stickiness and increasing spend from a valuable customer segment they're targeting. Again, purely hypothetical.
Definitely hypothetical. Okay, that wraps up our deep dive into Robinhood's Q1 2025 earnings.
Yeah, we covered the financials, the product developments, the strategic moves. Quite a lot going on there.
Hopefully this analysis gives you a clearer picture of their performance and maybe their future potential.
What are your thoughts? Are you bullish on the active trader push? The global plans? Let us know.
And remember, this was just our exploration of the earnings call. Always, always do your own thorough research before making any investment decisions.
Absolutely. Tune in next time for another deep dive.